Hello, everyone. Welcome to another short story from the book that we've been making our way through. That is The Power of Kindness and Other Stories, written by T.S. Arthur. If you've not listened to any of these that I've posted so far, I will tell you the stories are old-fashioned. Some of the verbiage is a little old-fashioned. Some of the lessons themselves, same thing, but the lesson behind it and the message remains the same. So I think they're still very relevant, and it's just nice to kind of go back to a different time and read. I like older things anyways, but a different time where we're just reading just from an older stories. I really enjoy those. I still think the lesson and anything you learn from it can still be super relevant to wherever you are in life. And when we're talking about kindness, when we're talking about anything in that way, of course, that's always relevant. So today's story is titled Rover and His Little Master. "Come, Rover," said Harry as he passed a fine old Newfoundland dog that lay on a mat at the door. "Come, Rover, I'm going down to the river to sail my boat, and I want you to go with me." Rover opened his large eyes and looked lazily at his little master. "Come, Rover, Rover." But the dog didn't care to move, and so Harry went off to the riverside alone. He had not been gone a great while before a thought of her boy came suddenly into the mother's mind. Remembering that he had a little vessel and that the river was near, it occurred to her that he might have gone there. Instantly, her heart began to throb with alarm. "Is Harry with you?" she called up to Harry's father, who was in his study, but Harry's father said he was not there. "I'm afraid he's gone to the river with his boat," said the mother. "To the river?" And Mr. Lee dropped his pen and came quickly down. Taking up his hat, he went hurriedly from the house. Rover was still lying upon the mat with his head upon his paws and his eyes shut. "Rover," said his master in a quick, excited voice, "where's Harry? Has he gone to the river? Away and see, quick." The dog must have understood every word, for he sprang eagerly to his feet and rushed toward the river. Mr. Lee followed as fast as he could run. When he reached the river bank, he saw his little boy in the water, with Rover dragging him towards the shore. He was just in time to receive the half-drowned child in his arms and carry him home to his mother. Harry, who remained insensible, was placed in a warm bed. He soon, however, revived, and in an hour or two was running about again. But after this, Rover would never leave the side of his little master when he wandered beyond the garden gate. Wherever you found Harry, there Rover was sure to be, sometimes walking by his side, and sometimes lying on the grass, with his big eyes watching every moment. Once Harry found his little vessel, which had been hidden away since he went with it to the river, and without his mother seeing him, he started again for the water. Rover, as usual, was with him. On his way to the river, he saw some flowers, and in order to gather them, put his boat down upon the grass. Instantly, Rover picked it up in his mouth and walked back towards the house with it. After going a little way, he stopped, looked around, and waited until Harry had got his hands full of flowers. The child then saw that Rover had his boat and tried to get it from him. But Rover played around him, always keeping it out of his reach and retreating towards the house until he got back within the gate. Then he bounded into the house and laid the boat at the feet of Harry's mother. Harry was a little angry with the good old dog at first, but when his mother explained to him what Rover meant, he hugged him round the neck and said he would never go down to the river any more. Harry is a man now, and Rover has long since been dead, but he often thinks of the dear old dog that saved him from the drowning when he was a child, and it gives him great pleasure to remember that he never beat Rover, as some boys beat their dogs when they are angry, and was never unkind to him. Had it been otherwise, the thought would have given him great pain. All right, so that was, what was the name of the story again? Rover and His Little Master. See where I say it's a little bit vintage. We have vessel instead of a boat. Just the verbiage, I just like it. It's so outdated in the most wonderful way. So I think we've got 1, 2 stories left, and then we will be all finished with this book. Thank you so much for joining me for these little stories, and I will see you guys again soon when I begin a next read segment. Take care until then. I love you all. Bye-bye.